in love with this sport.
How about Anthony Joshua and Dubois? Dubois is coming into his own, man. That's what that is. He's only like 27, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming into his own. That guy's fucking scary.
Ask him what was going through his head when he was doing that.
Daniel, what was going through your head when you challenged Usyk, considering you had a fight with Joe Parker? Joe wants to know.
It's all about making noise. This is show business, so that's what I want next. First, I've got to get through to say too much. I don't do too much talking, so.
Listen, I've been boxing for a while, and I feel like I've only just begun now. I feel like I've got...
When it comes to boxing, predictions are like jabs. Some hit the mark and others miss entirely. But one thing's for sure, when two heavyweight names like Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker are thrown into the mix, everyone in the boxing world has something to say. From their power to their completely opposite styles, fans and pros alike can't stop debating. Who's got the edge? So let's dive into what the experts are predicting for this potential showdown.
February 22nd is the best card I've ever seen. Do you agree?
It's a fabulous show. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, you look at the fights on there, you look at the fighters that are on there, the matches that they're in. It's brilliant. I mean, it is a punt.
Starting with Frank Warren, who couldn't hide his excitement when talking about the upcoming fights, calling the event a punter's dream and praising the talent on the card. You look at the fights, the fighters, the matches they're in, it's brilliant. It doesn't get better than that, he said, clearly impressed by how strong the lineup is. The main event is a highly anticipated rematch for 4 belts, and Warren is especially excited about it. Looking back at their first fight, he said it was technical, gutsy, and a really, really good quality fight, and he's expecting the rematch to be just as exciting. These guys gave it their all last time, and I'm sure they'll bring the same energy again. Warren also talked about Daniel Dubois, who is making a name for himself on the card. He mentioned how Dubois is in great form and full of confidence. Daniel's on a roll at the moment. He's very confident, Warren said, but he also pointed out that Dubois is facing another tough challenge. When was the last time he had an easy fight? Exactly, Warren added, reminding everyone that Dubois is always up against strong competition. He acknowledged that Dubois is fighting a winning fighter who's turned his career around, so it won't be an easy fight for him. Still, Warren seemed positive about Dubois' chances, believing he was in a good place to take on this challenge.
A dream fight, I think Daniel, who's on a roll at the moment, who's very confident.
Another hard fight for him, by the way.
I was just going to say, he's not got another. When was the last time he had an easy job?
Precisely.
I mean, he had no easy jobs, and he's in with a winning fighter, a guy who.
Among experts, the boxer Daniel Dubois himself didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the upcoming fight, filled with confidence. He set the tone immediately with a bold statement, "I'll finish him," leaving no doubt about his intentions in the ring. But Dubois made it clear that his approach isn't just about raw aggression, it's about strategy. "I want to go in there and be smart," he explained, showing respect for his opponent's style while also emphasizing his own tactical focus. He's a fighter who comes forward and applies tremendous pressure, and I just have to be smart about my work and enjoy it.
I'll finish him.
I want to go in there and be smart. He's a fighter who comes forward and applies tremendous pressure.
When asked if he thinks he can outclass his opponent, Dubois gave a thoughtful but assured response, showing he's prepared for the challenge ahead. "I think I can," he said, before elaborating on what he sees as the key to victory. "I think I can do it with good movement, not running away, but just good movement and accurate punches." Dubois made it clear he has no plans to back down, saying he's focused on controlling the fight with smart, steady moves. "Deliberate punches and just work, he added.
I think I can. with good movement. Not running away, but just good movement and accuracy, punches, deliberate punches. And just
Dubois also took a moment to reflect on the mental aspect of the fight, explaining how he plans to enjoy the experience even under the intense spotlight of competition. For him, it's about more than just landing punches. It's about executing a smart game plan and staying one step ahead of his opponent. He's relentless, but so am I, Dubois seemed to suggest through his words, clearly confident in his ability to adapt and thrive under pressure. Another huge name in the boxing world, Shane Cameron, talked about how big of an opportunity this fight is for Joseph Parker, especially considering the hype around Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is hot property.
Massive opportunity for Joseph Parker,
fighting Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is hot property, man. He just knocked out Anthony Joshua.
Cameron said, referring to how Dubois has become one of the most talked about fighters after his knockout of Anthony Joshua. But Cameron also highlighted that Parker has been doing great lately too. He's coming off good wins over Deontay Wilder and that Zhang, you know, big bastard.
And so is Joseph Parker. He's hot property too. He's coming off good wins of Deontay Wilder and that Chinaman Zhang, you know, the big bastard. So fucking, he beat both those guys up. Did exceptionally well.
Cameron pointed out, showing how impressive Parker's victories have been. Cameron made it clear that Parker is back on track for another shot at a world title, saying he's getting another shot at a world title. He's a former world champion, so let's see if he can do it again.
This is a massive fight. He's getting another shot at a world title. He's former world champion.
Cameron also believes Parker's speed and agility are going to be key in this fight. Joe, to get the edge over Daniel, he's got to use what he did to Deontay Wilder and what he did to Zhang. Cameron said that Parker's success comes down to how well he controls the distance and uses his reach during fights. He also talked about Parker's new approach to training, saying, he's doing a lot of weights now. I see he's never really done weights, but he's doing a lot of strength and conditioning training. This, according to Cameron, has given Parker a lot more pop on his punches now, meaning his shots have more power behind them. Those punches with pop on them, Cameron noted, could make all the difference. He explained how, in boxing, the punch you don't see is the one that does the damage, which could be a game changer for Parker, especially with his added power and speed.
Daniel Dubois, he's got to use his, what he did to Deontay Wilder and what he did to Zhang, you know, by using his range, and he's doing a lot of weights now. I see he's never really done weights.
Joseph Parker has always had the speed, Cameron added, pointing out that if Parker can land quick, hard punches on Dubois and get out before Dubois can counter, he might just have what it takes to win the fight and take another shot at the title.
He's always had the speed. So let's see if he can land a nice, quick, fast few shots on Daniel Dubois and then get away.
Lukey Boxing compared the fight between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker to a tale of two careers, pointing out how both fighters have faced tough losses but are now bouncing back. Dubois, who was stopped by Alexander Usyk, and Parker, who lost to Joe Joyce, were both written off by many after those defeats. But now, both of them are on win streaks and proving they still have a lot to offer. Dubois recently made a big statement by knocking out Anthony Joshua, reminding everyone of his power and potential. Meanwhile, Joseph Parker has turned things around by beating big names like Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, showing he can still hang with the top guys in the division. That is a big reason why Luke favors him over Dubois.
Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. This is the tale of two careers. Both were written off. Dubois gets stopped by Usyk. Joseph Parker gets stopped by Joe.
What's really interesting about this matchup, according to Luke, is how their styles fit together. Parker is known for his movement and skill, while Dubois is more of a powerful, aggressive fighter. Luke warned not to be surprised if this turns into a tough fight, with Parker likely giving Dubois a lot of problems. Parker's style could be tricky for Dubois, making it harder for him to land clean punches and control the fight. This fight is not just about their recent wins, but about how they'll match up against each other's strengths and weaknesses, and it's shaping up to be a fight full of exciting challenges.
And Joseph Parker gives Daniel Dubois a lot of problems because stylistically, Joseph Parker matches up great for Daniel Dubois.
Joe Joyce shared his excitement about the fight between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker, and it's easy to see why. He started off by saying, "I'm excited to see it," showing how much he's looking forward to watching the two fighters go head to head. Joyce made sure to recognize Dubois for his impressive punching power, saying, "Obviously Dubois hits hard." He pointed out how Dubois has really stepped up in his career, adding, "He's come from more, stepped up," meaning that Dubois has faced tougher competition and has been performing at a high level lately. This was a nod to how Dubois has grown in the sport and made a name for himself, especially after his recent knockout of Anthony Joshua. This statement makes you wonder if Joyce is favoring Dubois over Parker. But Joyce didn't stop there. He was quick to mention Joseph Parker and the way Parker has been improving as well. Parker as well, like they've both come along and they've both been in big fights, Joyce said. He's clearly impressed with how Parker has come back from setbacks and fought top-tier opponents, including Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang.
Obviously, Dubois hits hard. He's come from like more, I don't know, stepped up, but then also Park as well. Like they've both.
What Joyce also highlighted is how both fighters have been on really good form lately. They've both been on really good form recently, the past year or two. He said, "It's clear that Joyce sees both of these fighters as being in peak shape and ready for a big challenge." But Joyce also pointed out that their styles are different, which adds an extra layer of intrigue to the fight. He said, "They both got different attributes," emphasizing how Dubois is known for his power and Parker is known for his speed and technique. That contrast in their fighting styles is what makes this matchup so exciting. While Dubois might rely on his knockout power, Parker could use his quickness and smart boxing to avoid the heavy hits and control the pace of the fight. Joyce's excitement was really clear throughout his comments, especially when he said, "See, may the best man win." He was showing respect for both fighters and acknowledging that at the end of the day, it's anyone's fight. Both Dubois and Parker have earned their spots, and Joyce seems genuinely curious to see who will come out on top.
And they've both like been in big fights, so yeah, I'm really excited to see who gets the win.
Yeah, they've both been on really good form recently, the past year or two.
Both got different actions.
When talking about experts' predictions, it's hard not mention Gareth A. Davies shared his thoughts on the heavyweight boxing scene and what could be next for Daniel Dubois. He started by bringing up how Joseph Parker had recently called out Dubois, saying would have seen Joseph Parker on TalkSport actually call out Daniel Dubois big time. This clearly shows that Parker is eager for a fight, and Davies seemed excited about it, calling it a really good fight and something he really likes.
In April 2025, just away from this, Gareth, would have seen Joseph Parker on TalkSport actually call out Daniel Dubois.
Big time. Well, it's a fight we've talked about in the past. It's a
Davies emphasized how Dubois and Parker are two of the most exciting names in the boxing world right now. He said, "They are the two most resurgent names in the sport right now," highlighting that both fighters have had a great few years, with each of them making comebacks after some tough losses. Davies continued, "Dubois and Parker are flying high. It's a great fight. It's a stadium event."
Are the two most resurgent names in the sport right now. So Dubois and Parker are flying high. It's a great fight. It's a big...
This shows how much potential this matchup has, with both fighters being in top form and ready for a big stage. He added that the fight could draw a huge crowd, saying, "Parker's almost a favored Brit now, isn't he?" This shows that Parker's popularity has grown in recent years, making him an even bigger draw for fans. He also pointed out how Parker's connections to Tyson Fury could add even more excitement to the fight, noting he'll bring that whole Tyson Fury onto him. This connection could bring extra hype to the fight and make it feel even bigger, as Fury is one of the biggest names in boxing today. However, the conversation didn't just focus on Parker. Davies also mentioned Fabio Wardley's name in connection to Daniel Dubois, pointing out that Wardley had been mentioned as a possible opponent, but he made it clear that this wasn't the right fight for now. Fabio Wardley has even been mentioned. Frank, in the same breath as Daniel Dubois, he's ruled it out, said Davies. He understood why people might bring up the fight, but explained that it wasn't the right time for it. "It's not the right fight right now for Fabio Wardley, frankly," he said.
He's almost a favoured Brit now, isn't he? And he'll bring that whole Tyson Fury entourage with him. If they get... Fabio Wardley's even been mentioned in the same breath as Daniel Dubois. He's ruled it out. No, I get it, but he was mentioned at the beginning or the end of last week in the same breath. It's not.
Instead of rushing into this matchup, Davies suggested that it might be better for both fighters if they waited a little longer to make the fight happen. He explained, "It's better for them if they hold off a little," indicating that it could be more exciting and meaningful when both fighters have had more time to build their careers. In fact, Davies noted that this fight could potentially be huge in the future, saying, "Between two massive punchers, two Brits can be built into a Wembley Stadium fight, but that for now, it wasn't the right moment for such a big event."
Fight right now.
I agree. It's better for them if they hold off a little.
Next up, Don Charlie, he began by discussing the high stakes of the upcoming fight between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker, set for February 22nd, emphasizing how both fighters are currently in top form. The interviewer called them two of the most informed heavyweights in the world right now, showing just how significant this matchup is. Dubois, after a strong performance knocking out Anthony Joshua, and Parker, who has picked up victories over notable names like Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, have both been on impressive runs lately, Charles made sure to highlight how these two fighters have been at the peak of their game, setting the stage for an exciting clash. Charles then took a deeper dive into the current state of heavyweight boxing, acknowledging the fierce competition and the absence of easy matches. He pointed out that in today's landscape, there are no easy or soft fights in the division. This was especially true for Daniel Dubois, who, as Charles pointed out, has had to prove himself after being written off by many critics early in his career. There are no easy or soft fights, he said, suggesting that heavyweight boxing today is all about taking on tough challenges and rising to the occasion.
The way demographically, the way heavyweight boxing is at the moment, especially with the Riyadh season, there are no easy or soft. I mean, that's supposed to be a voluntary defense. I mean, do you choose Joseph Parker? No. Normally, in the normal conditions, no. But
even though Dubois could have faced a lesser challenge for his IBF world title defense, Charles noted that Joseph Parker was still the right choice. Stylistically, I would choose Joseph Parker, he explained, giving credit to Parker's proven abilities in the ring. Even though Parker isn't an easy opponent, Charles felt it was the best test for Dubois, considering where both fighters are in their careers. This fight, according to Charles, isn't just about titles, it's about respect and proving who truly belongs at the top of the heavyweight division. With both fighters showing excellent form recently, it's clear that this fight will be a thrilling spectacle for fans and will set the stage for what could be a defining moment in both of their careers.
As a coach, I would choose Joseph Parker. We respect him. We have to respect him. He's a former world champion. He's for everybody. And like I said, the form he's in, he's beat Wilder, he's beat Zhang. And, you know, we're also in form. So it's going to be a great fight for and the styles, both styles is going to be exciting for the audience.
That's it for the predictions. Who will dominate in the upcoming clash between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.